Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Salaamedia. My name is Azhar Vadi, and today we've been blessed with the appearance at our studios of a special guest known as the Marriage Maestro. His name is Saajid Hussain, and he comes from the UK for the marriage conference that's happening in South Africa. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Saajid, welcome to Salaamedia.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The Marriage Maestro, that's a most interesting title that I've ever heard. Why do people call you that?
Well, to be honest, I think in my history, I've been known as a director, as a chairman, as a CEO. And I was kind of bored with those type of titles. It just puts you in a certain category. Marriage is supposed to be fun. And what I want to do is have a fun title. So I asked my wife, actually, what do you think I should call myself as an identity? And she said, well, let's think of what you do. And a maestro stands in front of a group of an orchestra and actually just waves his hands around, and all of a sudden they play what he wants them to play. And so I thought that's more or less what I do. I actually arrange events around the world, coordinate people, and deliver and execute conferences. So the Marriage Maestro was a nice kind of name that came together, mashallah.
Do you think that, there's such a serious problem in relationships between married couples that there's this need, such a great need for conferences of this nature?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Unfortunately, what's happened in the Ummah, and we're not talking in individual countries, we have issues in South Africa, UK, Australia, Malaysia, you name it, we have those issues. Issues are all the same. And this is what's just startling about it. It's a Ummah problem, not just a nation problem. We have divorce rates which are going through the roof. For example, in Malaysia right now, there's a divorce that happens once every 10 minutes. That's crazy. Why is that happening? People don't get married to get divorced, but yet that's the end result of it. Number of separations, the abuse. At the same time, to be honest, I think in life you are equipped with many skills. You want to be an engineer, you have to go on a 5-year course. You want to be a pilot, you got 6 years there. You want to be a doctor or surgeon, mashallah, you got almost 8 years here and there. You want to get married? Bismillah. I do, I say, Kabul. Next thing you know, into the deep end. What training are we giving our youth on marriage? Have we spoken to them about any of the matters? About how to manage their finances once they're married? How to deal with their in-laws, for example. Even the fact how they should approach and get to know one another before marriage. Is dating allowed in Islam? What is it? Is it that important to have love before you get married? There's so many concepts that, subhanAllah, we've forgotten how the Prophet ﷺ has taught us, how we need to apply the Islamic values in our lives, but at the same time, enjoy our relationships with our spouses. So the need is great, and mashallah, we've seen the demand from around the world for these type of events is also very high.
Do you think there's a difference in marriages and married couples, say, 100 years or 50 years ago compared to modern day couples, young couples?
Indeed there is, without a doubt.
What's the change? What's happened?
First and foremost, the institute of marriage is no longer valued. Today our marriage is based on Bollywood, Hollywood, popcorn, love and so forth. When our parents or our grandparents or great-grandparents, they got married and they stayed with one another through thick and thin. Today there's a downturn in the economy, next thing you know, she's walking out the door. The children don't get what they want, the parents are in quarrels, and the fathers have, leading to all sorts of other kind of livelihoods and lifestyles. So what we've seen is that the issues themselves are real. We're also seeing that, the value system that used to be there is no longer there. Because today it's perfectly fine to get married today and divorce within 6 months. That would never happen when it was our grandparents or our parents. They would get married and they would stick together for 60 years. So that's the difference primarily.
I understand that there's 12 people that will be part of this marriage conference to be taking place in South Africa.
That's right.
I don't think it's ever happened before. I could be mistaken. Tell us about this conference, who's behind it, who's participating, and how can people get involved?
Well, to be honest, this is the first time such an event is taking place. I've just recently delivered it in Melbourne, Australia. Prior to that, it was done in Malaysia. Prior to that, I did it in Singapore. And we first launched it in Malaysia last year on Valentine's Day. Because it's the day of zina. And we wanted to educate our youth by saying, let us teach you about Valentine's. What exactly is it? Where does it come from? And rather than live in haram relationships, let's give you an understanding of how to make your relationships halal. Marriage is so simple. And yet, you know, it's for some reason people have fears of it. So what's happened is, mashallah, we've had speakers, mashallah, from South Africa who've come all across to Malaysia and have done events, people like Uncle Idris Khamisa, who have really appreciated it, and it's because of him, to be honest, right, we are here talking about it. He believes that such an event in South Africa would be a great benefit to the community. So, alhamdulillah, we've now got the dates planned, we've got a team on board. The event itself attracts people from all different backgrounds. There are three main things for those who would attend the marriage conference. There are those who are looking to get into a marriage. There are those who are in a marriage, and there are those who want to get out of a marriage. So what we do is try to cater for all of them, but those who want to get out, our aim is to keep them in there, but find them solutions. At the same time, what we have done is, it's not like any other conference. You have talks, you have workshops, you have lectures, you have debates, you have competitions, you have theatre. You know, all the various types of visual stimulations, audio stimulations are there. And the reason for this is because we know we don't want people to come listen to lecture after lecture after lecture after lecture, and by the time it's 4 o'clock they're sleeping, and then they get up and they go and leave the day. It's about interaction. We have workshops. We also have Soul Seekers, which are a matchmaking service, a halal matchmaking forum. We also have something for kids who are 5 years old. We also have something for the youth, which are teenagers. We also have something which is, you know, you have a bazaar area for going shopping and taking services. But at the same time, you also have food and have a great time. So alhamdulillah, it's a purely inclusive event which keeps people very entertained. It's a family event. In terms of the speakers, mashallah, what we do, we don't just bring speakers who are scholars. We have them on board, mashallah, local and international. But we also bring people who are motivational speakers, people who are psychiatrists, people who are counselors, and people who are even professionals to give their input into this type of matter. Because we need it on all spectrums, not just how the Islamic aspect is. That's very important, without a doubt. But we also have to see how counselors tell us counseling should be. We know, for example, if there's an issue between a couple, the woman is more likely to go for counseling than her brother is. Why? Is it about ego? Is it about the fact that you must be, if you've got a problem in your marriage, you need to fix it. No one else is going to come and fix it for you. And it's also the ways you get the counselling. That's another key area as well. So this is, in its entirety, an international event, first of its kind, that's taking place in South Africa, inshallah, on the 30th of July. And we have amazing speakers from around the world.
If people want to participate and get involved, what do they do? Do they go to the website, or do they contact you, or what do they?
They'll never get me. But the best thing is to go to the website and marriageconference.org and register through there. You've got a different range of options on ticket pricing, what services they're looking for. If they want to be part of matchmaking, Soul Seekers, where they're looking for a halal partner, then that's something available for them as well. So they just go to the website. It's got all the information, a profile and a bio on all our speakers that are attending, and at the same time, inshallah, a breakdown of the kind of activities of the program that we'll be doing as well, inshallah.
Now, this is the last question, but sometimes something that I always wanted to ask people like Idris Khamisa and other ulama and people who have been involved in giving advice to couples around marriage.
Mm-hmm.
What's your marriage like?
Fantastic. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, it's a blessing. I have one wife and I'm more than happy. She's my Khadija. And I think this is one of the reasons when you have a happy marriage, you have a happy home. You have a happy family. And alhamdulillah, this is what we're seeing as strains today within our society. My own family, we've had situations where 4 of my brothers and sisters have gone through divorces. We've seen the impact on the children. We've seen the impact on the parents. We've also seen impact on both the families, not just 2 people. So really what we are saying to people is fight for your marriage. You know, salvage to the last moment. Don't give up on it. Because the shaitan's going to rejoice. That's what he wants. Why do we give up so quickly? You know, so our aim is, and alhamdulillah, you know, mashallah, our marriages are very strong and our wives are very supportive of what we do. Because like now, for example, I'm traveling during the month of Ramadan, and at the same time my wife is like, okay, fine, you have to do it, you're going for the sake of Allah, bismillah, off you go. So it's not like, oh, focus on our marriage and not someone else's. It's about everyone realizes what we need to do. And alhamdulillah, this is why the team is so great. We bring volunteers together, we bring people, organizations, affiliates. And this experience I've had in South Africa, mashallah, shows us a lot that there's so much that the world does not know about South African community. And there are case studies here that I've been exposed to, which I think, mashallah, should be showcased. you've got things that we can use as solutions overseas, and we can take solutions from overseas and apply them here. And that's the beauty of the Ummah. It's more than just one nation. It's about our community and our right to understand one another as well, inshallah.
Saajid Hussain, Jazakallah khairan for joining us on Salaamedia. We look forward to the marriage conference, and you're doing splendid work.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khairan. Keep us in your du'as, and don't forget to buy your tickets, inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan. You're watching Salaamedia. And my name is Azhar Vadi, and our guest originally from the UK, currently in Malaysia and in South Africa for the marriage conference.